What's up, everybody? Welcome back to On the Record, the Fat Records fan podcast, where we're going album by album, side by side, and roughly chronologically through the whole damn catalog. I'm one of your hosts, Alex, and I'm joined by Ben and Josh. What's going on, guys?
Hold on.
Thank you for your service.
We are recording on Halloween.
True. National holiday.
Yeah, it is.
None of us are dressed up.
It's totally
No.
bullshit that we don't have this day off.
Really?
I did think about doing the call in a mask, but I couldn't
But
find anything on
people
short notice.
people love Halloween so much, you might as well just give them day off.
You don't give them Halloween off. You give them All Saints Day off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair.
I'll take it. I get Good Friday off, and I don't understand why, but I will never complain about
Is
it.
that like a Cleveland thing? Or
Dude, I every job I've had, oddly enough, I've gotten it off, and I don't know if
What?
it is like a regional thing, but it
Huh.
strikes me as something odd that no one has ever like complained about. Like, someone that like maybe follows other religions and things, not just Christianity or whatever. Like, not that I follow it, but it was an odd choice for a company holiday for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue with it.
Yeah, people are just really into it, especially out here in Los Angeles. People get so fucking into it. It's unbelievable sometimes. Did either one of you go to any parties or dress up or any shit?
No, nothing this year. Everything was pretty quiet out here.
didn't
Even
didn't
trick or treating.
didn't really feel like it. Um, I feel like people really just like it as an excuse to get pictures taken of them.
Yes.
Like I don't think that there's like, I mean, I guess getting drunk, but you can do that any weekend.
Yeah,
Um,
there is something
but
a little more fun when you're dressed in a ridiculous fashion, I suppose. Though.
Yeah, but now you're drunk as a shitty vampire.
True.
All right, let's get into this. Today, we are talking about Swingin' Utters, a juvenile product of the working class.
The worst band name on Fat Wreck.
Well, it's pretty bad, yeah.
It's awful.
It's not great, and I don't really. Does anybody know where the name came from? I actually did not look that up.
No, I was not brave enough.
um, I mean, this record came out around the New Jack Swing revival. Maybe they were
True.
going for that with the name.
I don't know, but it's not great. Um, so this album was released on September 10th, 1996, and the album's title was taken from a line in an Elton John song called
Interesting.
Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting.
Oh, that's a good draw. That's a great song.
If you like pina colada, oh shit, I messed that joke up. That's not the right song.
That's super not the right song.
I was. Do you know what I was going for there?
No, I don't.
Is it? Were you pulling a Dirty Work reference?
Yeah,
G7.
street fighting man.
You just hit G8. Then
All
Norm gets thrown through the window.
It's a good movie. It holds up.
Dude, it's super does.
Yeah. Okay, let's go through the lineup here. We have Johnny Bonnell on vocals, Darius Koski on guitar, accordion, and vocals, Max Huber on guitar, Greg McGenty on drums, and Kevin Wickersham on bass. It was recorded at HOS in Redwood City, California. Recorded and mixed by Ryan Green, produced by Fat Mike and Ryan Green.
As is wont to do in the House of Fat.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much every record from here until who knows when. Maybe like the early 2000s. Who I don't even know. But he just Ryan Green, man. He did them all, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not broke, I mean, the dude's putting out pretty quality sounding stuff, pretty much regardless of the band. I mean, it's earning the label a signature sound at this point, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sound of this record is definitely not one of the things I would complain about.
No, it's
the
a
most
great
part.
sounding record. Yeah,
I think pretty much everything that that the label puts out is pretty great sounding. Unless it's like a reissue or something like that from some sort of like, an older recording maybe. But if especially if Ryan Green recorded it, it's gonna sound good. I think it's pretty rare to listen to a Fat album and think, oh wow, the production on this sucks.
Yeah, no, not until I mean the later eras, way, way down the road, there's a few, but that's again,
Oh.
you move out of the House of Green, and there's a lot of other, producers start milling in with bands and things like that.
Right. So before we really start talking about the record, do either of you have any kind of like history with this record? Do you listen to Swingin' Utters?
My beginning and end of my familiarity with this band has always been that this is the band that Spike from the Gimme Gimmes is in. That's pretty much been the extent, and other, the occasional compilation track.
Yeah. Ben, anything?
Yeah, I think I recognize a song or two on this off of a Fat Wreck comp.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yep. So I wouldn't call myself a fan necessarily, but I did have 5 Lessons Learned, and I really liked that, but I haven't listened to that in a very long time now. I mean, probably not since like college, but I went into this hoping that I was gonna like it, and I might be in the minority because I did.
I don't dislike it, but I'm not crazy over it either.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that this is an absolutely amazing record by any stretch, but I did find a lot to like about it.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
So let's get into it now. This is a long record. It's got 16
I
songs.
I say it every episode. Too many songs, man.
I know, man.
Somebody's gonna agree with me eventually. They're gonna be like, you know what, you're right, Josh. It is too many songs.
Well, don't we always agree with you?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't listen. I just say things and hope you agree.
All right, let's just start at the top. Wind Spitting Punk. I thought that this was it's a solid, opening song. But it's not like the most amazing song.
Yeah, I do like the guitar leads in the intro. I thought were pretty fun. It's got a really weird, like abrupt time change halfway through that felt kind of jarring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it's got a real stop on a dime, like twist part that feels way more at home in like a late 90s all song as opposed to like something like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, speaking of something like all, what kind of, were you like picking up on any, a lot of the different sort of bands they feel like they're pulling from? Because I was hearing things from like, obviously Bad Religion, some NoFX, but even some Jawbreaker and Rancid, I felt.
I definitely get a little bit of a Bad Religion vibe for sure, but it's a big like I had a couple like TKO Records compilations growing up, which they had a bunch of bands like Peter and the Test Tube Babies and some of those more like niche oi bands and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of that vibe in this. Like I could absolutely see this on one of those compilations.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of just thought it sounded like an updated for 1996 version of like late 70s punk.
Sure,
For the
yeah.
most
I mean,
part of it.
it feels like a record you'd listen to if you watch soccer a lot.
I mean, they throw in way too many like Celtic folk punk ass shit on this
Yeah,
record.
I don't. It's a lot of
Um,
storyteller vibe, and I don't. I'm not a big fan of storyteller punk. Like,
Well, most of the time it's just not done well. I feel like
yeah,
if you can do it well, that's a different thing. But I
Yeah.
don't think a lot of people are as good as storytellers as they think they are.
yeah. Oh, I'm looking at you, Dropkick Murphys.
Ooh.
Too many songs that revolve around drinking on this.
Yeah, big
Well,
time.
like
I have a
too
job.
many.
I drink beer. This
All
whole
of them.
record. This whole record is about having a job and
But-
going to the pub.
Because they're the working class, man.
Oh, yeah, I know. So am I.
Yeah.
I'll sing about it. You
Um,
wouldn't want me to, anyways.
when I like the title of this first song though, Wind Spitting Punk.
Yeah.
It just sort of, I mean, it always reminds me of that classic Jim Croce song, You Don't Mess Around with Jim. where he
That is a
says
good one.
you don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't spit into the wind. But it's an okay song.
Yeah, it's a solid intro. It's nothing,
Sure.
it doesn't take a ton of chances.
Nah.
It's some mid-tempo, good riffing, melodic vocals, nice hooks.
Yeah.
It's kind of at least so far with this record, that seems to be this band's MO, is just, riffs and hooks.
Yeah, for the most part. All right. Let's talk about the second track, No Time to Play. Which to me, I really like it. It really seemed to me like it was, borrowing that melody and riffs from Bad Religion's Hooray for Me. I was like, really, like, it almost got me immediately. I was like, oh my God, that sounds a lot like it.
Yeah, I like the rhythm. The rhythm section in this comes through in a big way, and I think that's a big part of that Bad Religion vibe. Is it's got that sort of groove and that low end that Bad Religion kind of excels in like those slower songs.
Yeah.
I mean, this is obviously a bit faster and it's kind of bouncy and stuff, but the vibe, the vibe is there.
Like this whole record is very bouncy.
Yeah, for sure. I would put in my notes, this is a less meat-headed alternative to the Dropkick Murphys.
I'll take this over Dropkick any day.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, certainly.
Spicy McHaggis can eat a fucking meat pie.
What the fuck is Spicy McHaggis?
It's some Dropkick Murphys song. The Ballad of Spicy McHaggis or the Spicy
Ooh.
McHaggis jig or some
Jeez.
nonsense. It's about an Irish guy or some such nonsense. You know how they are.
An actual Irish guy, or like
I like a more made-up storyteller Irish guy.
well,
Fuck, I don't know how anybody listens to that band.
I don't know. I mean, I like the Departed song. That's about it.
Well,
And they do some AC/DC covers that were pretty decent.
it's very specific.
Do
Do they
I
use
like AC/DC?
do they use like the fucking, I don't even know what the fuck.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Do they use an accordion? Is that what they use?
Long Way to the Top. They have bagpipes, I think.
Oh,
They
fuck.
do Long Way to the Top, and they do the brrrr with the actual bagpipes. It's kind of cool.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah,
AC/DC
is not for everybody. I understand.
Got big balls.
one of their best songs.
Dude, I listened to that song the other day, and I've heard that song pretty regularly since I was probably like 4 or 5. And the last time I listened to it, I noticed there's like a section towards the end where Bon Scott is just naming things you would have at a banquet. Like the band is just vamping, and he's like, cheese balls, little hot dog. He just like starts naming like hors d'oeuvre foods. It's real bizarre.
Little hot dogs.
I mean, I'm sure it doesn't say that, but I'm a terrible improv. So.
No, that's funny as hell. What are you talking about?
You should have just said that was true.
Yeah, right. I would have believed you. I don't listen to that.
Nobody ever corrects us. So you can get away with it.
It's true. Yeah,
it's true. Ben, any thoughts on this song?
I gave my favorite middle of the road comment, which was competent.
Yeah,
it's
fair.
They know how to play their instruments.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody's been reading all these lyrics and stuff, but this one, I tried reading the lyrics to this one, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck this song is even about.
There's a few songs on this record where if it's not about, like we were talking earlier, going to the pub or working or like bosses are bad, etc. The songs that aren't those, I don't know what's going. Like I can't understand the lyrics to them.
Yeah, I thought that the lyrics on this record were pretty dumb.
Like it's a lot of like.
Really, I didn't think he was a bad writer at all.
There's a lot of like almost metaphors, but like stuff that's not. You're like, what are you even trying to get at here?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that this is like they're like amazing lyrics or anything like that, but they're better than some of the other stuff that we've talked about, like we've like something like the early No Use for a Name and
sure. I mean, I would put it on par with like the Good Riddance stuff we've talked about recently.
Right. Like I would actually put it like at the same level as Good Riddance, the last record.
Yeah.
For me,
I definitely would agree there.
Just like the quality of the writing, I thought was it's pretty good. You know, it's not
It
like
just gets repetitive. That's all.
yeah. I agree on the themes for sure. All right, moving on. Let's talk about Nowhere Fast, which I thought this was, also like a decent song. I really like the bass progressions that like run all over the song. You can really hear the bass
Yeah.
jumping around a lot, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, the
Um,
bass is a star on this record, I think.
yeah, I think it definitely like does its own thing, and stands out in a way that you don't always hear. Um, but this is a tour song, but it's not really the same kind of tour song that we usually get. It actually sort of reminded me of one of the tracks from Tilt's "Till It Kills." Uh, it's called Akathesia.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sort of reminded me of that because he's more talking about the types of people that he's meeting as he's out on the road and stuff like that, and it's not about, oh, I'm in a band and we got to get
Right.
to the next show, which is just the fucking worst, as we've said 100 times already. Either
I
of
thought
you?
the song sounded way too sing-songy.
I get that.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very like jumpy and bouncy, and like
Mm-hmm.
for a record that has as many upbeat songs as it does, this is probably one of the more like annoyingly upbeat ones at some points. But I mean, I don't know. It's fine. It's a pretty nice, like it's a sort of a coming of age song too, a little bit, like all the growth you experience touring and the way
Right.
it changes you as a person and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to argue with that. Like it's just a personal growth sort of song. So it's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Keep Running, which to me sounded. This is where I was really picking up on those Jawbreaker and Rancid sort of influences. I think the Jawbreaker thing, I think, just comes from his delivery. Um,
I can see that.
he sort of changes his delivery in certain spots. Like there's one later where I think it sounds like he's really trying to sound like Fat Mike. Um, but yeah, it's maybe, I mean, they're San Francisco bands. They all know each other. Who knows?
Sure.
Um, and I thought this was, Keep Running. It was pretty good, but
Yeah.
still not
Kind of take
nothing blowing me away here.
yeah, lyrically just sort of take an aim at people that talk a big game about, uh, the people that just don't practice what they preach basically is what it's kind of taking a pot shot at.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I was reading it as, yeah, I think that's fair. I wrote down that it's sort of about someone's negative outlook getting in their way and blocking any progress they could, potentially make to improve their situation.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on this one, Ben?
I like all I wrote was whatever. I was like when I was listening to this over the summer, I was really not feeling this record
Mm,
at all. Still not really, but better than done.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Sustain, which I liked this one. I like this track.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh the
Go ahead.
oh, I was just to say the chorus on this song is I think one of the better ones on the album, and this is definitely a song I could see being really cool in like a huge venue with like a real good sounding venue, like nice acoustics and shit like that. It feels like a song that would really kind of hit hard.
Yeah. Was this one of the songs that was reminding you of that sampler, or that the TKO Records thing you were talking about? It had to me sort of like more of like that. Uh, I don't know. It was, again, it was another thing that was sort of reminding me of something in the vein of like Rancid.
Yeah, I could see that. Like that, the chorus goes back to a lot of those, kind of shouty gang choruses and things like that.
Yeah. I really liked they got like a guitar solo with the hand claps at the end, which is really nice too.
Yeah,
Kind
Um,
of hear quite a bit of, in addition to the Rancid, a bit of Bouncing Souls on this record as well.
Yeah, I would say like a
Particularly the
Bouncing
vocals,
Souls
mostly.
Leatherface vibe for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And maybe it's the bouncy nature of the songs, which,
Certainly.
the Bouncing Souls definitely have that going for them. But yeah, I really liked the song a lot. And lyrically, it's about having to tolerate someone who's obnoxious, which not the most original
Yeah.
song. We're gonna get plenty of those, but yeah, I liked some of the lyrics here. He says, "I can't let go of this insanity. Can't blow you off like a dead leaf on a tree. You stick around. I hope you get yours soon because you deserve it." It's just like, I think
To the point.
right. Well, I mean, like, I think what he's actually good at here is, yes, they're covering things, a lot of topics that we've already, heard lots of bands cover, but he's doing it in, a way that at least sets it apart. And it's not like I'm reading a whole bunch of cliches here.
Yeah, it does feel the name of the game of this album is like earnesty and sincerity. I feel like because regardless of like how much it clicks for me, it shines through that like this band gives a shit about what they're doing, cares about the songs they're writing. It's hard to deny that, and I think this is one of the songs it shows through on.
Yeah. All right. One and all. It's a short one.
Big Franz Nikolai vibes. It doesn't whichever band he's in like 7 of them, so I mean you could just pick one. But yeah, that was my first note was big Franz Nikolai vibes.
I don't typically love anything with the accordion, but the 2 songs on this album that they use the accordion on, I actually really like.
I think it works well. I mean,
don't-
it's an odd fit for most bands, but I think they pull it off.
It's an unexpected addition. Especially I think when a lot of this just kind of sounds like pretty straightforward, like West Coast punk.
Sure.
And then suddenly it's like, oh, here's an accordion. It's I don't know. It's like a catchy song. It's sort of like it's a nice sort of change up from everything that we've talked about so far. Yeah, I like the song. It's not one of my favorites on the album necessarily, but I think it's one of the better ones for sure. Ben.
Fuck this folk punk ass shit.
This Ben is a pipe bomb.
That was what I wrote.
So there's stickers not going on your bike, is what you're saying.
Oh. I did see World Inferno Friendship Society once.
I saw them once or twice. That band was great. That's one of the best live bands I've ever seen.
Who?
World Inferno Friendship Society.
Jack
Jack Terrycloth passed away a couple of years ago, I think.
Oh.
It's a big, like, weird Philly. I think the best way to describe it would be like vaudeville punk.
Circus music.
Yeah,
Kind of,
I mean it's
almost.
genuinely like traveling carny, like weird ballroom punk rock about songs
Gypsy
about
music.
actors from like the 50s.
The more words you use, the more I'm out. I'm just gone. Like, dude, like
Roma punk.
No. Mm-mm.
Oh,
I cannot. Like, we're not going there.
Oh, bonus content. Alex reacts to World Inferno Friendship Society.
Okay.
Jeez,
that should be one of our our bonus segments. Is I'm gonna curate a playlist of things you guys have to react to.
Okay, that works. So I actually, to be positive about this record for once, thought that Derailer was the best song on the record.
Dude, Derailer is awesome. Derailer's really good.
Yeah, I like the song.
I think the tone matches the lyrics completely. It's just a song about being off the rails and somebody that can't get their shit together. And it kind of runs with a theme, like One and All, Derailer, and the next song sort of all have kind of a similar like lyrical bent to them.
Yeah. I did like the lyrics on this one. Particularly that part where he says, Derailed, I need help. God save the queen, I fucked up the ant trail. Derailed, I've been nailed. Keep falling off the cross, the crucifixion failed. What
Yeah,
what
that
a
was a
weird series of lines, but I did really like it.
great delivery on it too. It's not a lot
Yeah.
of not a lot of stuff that's easy to sing in a quick succession like that.
Right.
And I mean, it comes through
Yeah.
really, really well. Really clear, clear. You can kind of, as long as you're following along, you can figure out what the hell he's saying.
Yeah. This one really reminded me of Rancid.
Sure, for sure. Like early, first album Rancid.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about what I think is the best song on the record by a wide margin. That's the next in line.
Did this remind anybody else of like Nimrod era Green Day a little bit? I don't know how into Green Day either of you are in general, or that era specifically.
I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that.
But
Okay.
I don't dispute it. The main thing with this song was, I mean, I thought the song was fine, but I was really bothered with the lyrics. Mainly because this is a topic that has just been done to death with these records at this point.
Yeah.
And like the other, like, so I took it to be about kind of like another one of those death of the country sort of songs. Is that,
Yeah. That's how it felt to me.
and like,
A
I like
little
you think,
bit.
what country are they actually pining for, right? Like, what country are you sad about that? Because, like, you know, country was hell for lots of people that lived in it, and these like simpler times that these people are like pining for in a lot of these songs.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. It's not quite how I read it. I mean, what did you what do you think the next in line is even referencing? Because to me, it sounded like he was talking about, um, being next in line to resort to like a life of crime, even though he's trying to resist doing that to help make ends meet. Because he says, by the last verse, it sounds like, he's in jail. Freedom's the only thing you need, but the truth is something few understand, and an unwelcome reality. Now it's dark and it's black, and you're sad and gone. Like, to me, that sounds like you've been put away.
Yeah, that's true too. I do like that's a good line.
Yeah. And then just like from the songwriting standpoint, I feel like this is a song where they've kind of put it all together, and it feels more like their own identity on this song. It doesn't really necessarily remind me of all these other bands we've been talking about. It sounds like it's like, oh, okay, so now to me this sounds like a Swing and Utter song.
Yeah, it does feel like like a moment they've unlocked something or like figured so like cracked some sort of code for the band.
Yeah, they mix in that acoustic guitar, and then they've got the electric guitar like soloing over it, which I thought was really nice. It's a memorable song. I think this is one that was on one of the Fat Comps.
I was gonna ask if this was because I knew the song right away and I've not listened to this album before.
Right. Yeah, I was right there with you. I had not ever listened to this record, but I heard that song and I was like, oh, I know this one.
Yeah, other than I wasn't crazy about like the Eagle Eye Cherry acoustic intro thing, but I mean it fits the song. It's just
Sure.
not for me.
Sure. Yeah, I get you. I thought this was a good closing song too for the first half of the album.
Oh, absolutely, for sure.
It's a good closer. Any more thoughts, Ben?
No, not really.
Okay.
Yeah. So we forgot to do our homework.
You
What was
forgot to
our
do
We
your
homework?
homework.
we forgot to coordinate it in particular. Um, we had talked about potentially listening to or watching the Another State of Mind
Oh,
documentary
that's right. Yeah.
for this episode.
Oh wow, completely blanked
And
on that. It's okay.
we
I've got you covered on something right here.
okay, good. I think that we should try to put that in a pin and maybe do it in like the bonus spot at the end of this season
That'd be
if
cool.
we can remember.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we'll just have to remember to do it. That's all. All right. Before we flip over to side 2, Let's play a game.
Let's do it.
All right. Are you ready? From the pages of Maximum Rock and Roll, it's Maximum Obscurity.
Yes,
The
I love this
game
game.
where I read a real album review from the magazine, and you guys get to guess which obscure band it describes. First up, to tell you the truth, although this punk band has a great sound, something like The Digits, and one excellent line that I could make out, quote, I like to jerk off to David Hasselhoff, end quote. I didn't get much beyond the really revolting cover sketch of a dead trailer park housewife being raped. Sorry, not funny.
Jesus.
Yeah. Wow. Like,
Good Lord.
yeah. Is this A, Big Bubba, B, Elvis Disciples, C, Bargoyles, or D, Crack Rock?
I don't want it to be Bargoyles because I really like that name,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's Bargoyles.
Big Bubba.
It's B, Elvis Disciples.
Wow.
Yeah. And the name of this amazing EP is Your Mom Don't Know How to Fuck. Yeah.
All around bangers. No
Right?
pun intended.
Jeez, my God, guys.
Oh, not good.
Not good
No
at all.
pun intended.
That's so good, Al.
All right, next question. Blank are sick chicks. Their slow, heavy, distorted, plodding music features gruff, psychotic mantras such as, quote, he is mine, or, quote, I kill her, I don't care, followed by blood-curdling screams. It's not for the sensitive or politically correct. Is this A, live-action pussy show, B, vaginal blood farts, C, drunken nuns, or D, problem hair?
I'm gonna go with problem hair.
What were the first two?
Live action pussy show and vaginal blood farts. I can't believe you made me repeat these names.
Okay, I think it's the drunken nuns.
It's A, live action pussy show, also known as LAPS.
Hey, I love a good acronym.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention the Elvis Disciples record was put out on a record label called Wedge Records, but they do records the same way Fat does.
Wait, what?
They write it out. They write out rec chords.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, what?
We can have a spin-off show.
Right, yeah. Absolutely not. No way. Who could even, I mean, I don't think you could even find this even if you wanted to. It's, hot
No,
trash.
I think I've seen it at Target.
Oh, okay.
They got a vinyl section. I feel like I've seen
All
it.
right.
I do have a final section at Target.
Vinyl's coming back, guys. Elvis Disciples. Leading the charge. All right, question number 3. I'm growing increasingly weary with every mediocre psychobilly record I hear. The band, yeah, the band name and song titles like Wild Man, Hot Rod Mama, and Gone Daddy Gone are all I really needed to feel the bile rising in my throat.
Did I write this?
I think we could have all written it. I'd rather watch a cross-country sloth race than hear another one of these. Is this A, Homo Militia, B, Mysterious Briefcase, C, Reach Around Rodeo Clowns, or D, Bass Holes or Bass Holes?
Bass holes.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to.
It's C, the Reach Around Rodeo Clowns, which to me
Wow.
does not sound like a psychobilly band at all.
No. Yeah. I thought that the second one kind of sounded like it could be. What was that again?
Mysterious Briefcase? What a terrible band name.
I kind of like it,
I'm gonna
actually.
take it. I'm gonna take it.
At the very least, it's a good album title.
Oh, sure. Okay. Can you imagine going up on stage and be like, we are Mysterious Briefcase?
What the fuck's going on? We're Mysterious Briefcase. Let's do this. And it just sounds like the
full of bricks at the audience.
Meanwhile, you just sound like the Shins. It's just like
Oh
ineffectual pop rock.
God, yeah, that would be what it is for sure. All right, question number 4. German porn freaks. Boy, does that make for a shitty record or what? Anyway, named after the truly awful, I believe, Tracy Lords movie. I saw the flick when I was drunk and like 17. I can't tell you much about it though. Anyway, the music is fun, sing along poppy punk with some of the silliest lyrics around, with almost every song title being named for either some triple X movie or porno star. Dayglow yellow vinyl limited to 500 copies, and a booklet full of naked photos and cartoons. Perhaps the 90s answer to the Chemical People. Good X-rated fun.
So it comes with a Tijuana Bible. That's kind of funny.
Is this A, three-way cum? B, B, new wave hookers? C, walking abortions? Or D, phantom pregnancies?
You are not making this one easy. All of those are completely possible, I feel like.
When they said named after the Tracy Lords documentary, are they referring to the record title?
I guess I don't know what
I think.
Tracy Lords is, to be honest with
Oh,
you.
she was a porn star that has a very sordid past.
Well, they filmed her while she was underage.
I was gonna say, yeah, she
lied about her age. And
she lied about her age, and there's a lot of weird stuff, and eventually parlayed it into like legitimate acting. She's in like Zack and Miri Make a Porno and a bunch of other like comedies and things like that.
Really? Wow. Okay.
I think that's her in that movie.
No, I don't.
Fuck it, three-way cum.
That's where I'm going.
It's B, new wave hookers.
Ah, it is a good name though.
The name of the album, by the way, is Dare Titless Fuzzed Air Cunt. It's just like a string of words.
Oh, that's probably the Pulley album if you take the censoring out. I think that's what that is.
Yeah. All right, last question. Man, this is pretty bad. Yet another faceless indie band with obvious smarts and chops that should be really focusing on their day jobs. I loathe being mean in situations like this, but this thing begs to be skipped through at high speed. I didn't, I swear. I just wanted to. I can't really describe it. Zappa tendencies crossed with Rocket from the Crypt awareness lathered with what? Alice Donut? Whatever. Is it
kind of awesome?
Is it A, Coca-Cola, B, thick chicken, C, butt steak, or D, bubblegum Christ?
Bubblegum Christ.
Yeah. I'm torn between that and Coca. I'm gonna go Coca-Cola.
C, butt steak.
Oh, I'd like your finest butt steak, please.
Yeah, the name of the album is Men Who Pause.
Ooh, I like that album title.
I don't know.
Makes me a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think it all makes me really uncomfortable. Yeah. You know,
if that was a homegrown album, it would be called Men Who Pause, and it would be PAWS, and they would all be dressed as furries.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That is a band that people don't talk about anymore, which is
for good reason.
Good reasons, but it's like contemporaries of theirs. Like, did they do something cancelable?
I think they don't have I mean, I might be talking on a turn here, and I might just be making this up, but I don't think they have a great reputation as like people. But I could be wrong. I could be way off base on that. I don't know.
What band is this we're talking about?
Homegrown. They were like a really terrible, like in the midst of like the Feldman pop punk era. Yeah. Show Off and all those bands that sounded exactly like Goldfinger's albums, only not as good.
Ouch.
They also like I think transitioned into just like straight up like Newfound Glory type pop punk.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they eventually turned into, was like Phoenix TX, Newfound Glory, that whole sort of scene.
Oh man, that's a band name I haven't heard in a long time. Phoenix TX.
If you guys aren't bad people, correct us.
It'd be amazing if it was like that was our audience, was homegrown. That was like just the band. They're just like listening to these podcasts.
You guys really are dicks. You know that?
Yeah.
Like, sorry, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And you suck, so you deserve it. Sorry.
Boom.
You
Roasted.
don't even remember what they sound like. I
Neither
mean,
do I.
you wouldn't like it, but
It sounds exactly like you would hear it and go, "Oh yeah, this is exactly what it would sound like."
like I feel like Yellow Card closely approximates their sound, right?
I would argue that Yellow Card wrote better songs. Not that I'm like even a Yellow Card fan, but
Wow. But could they?
Yellow
do
Card made
backflips?
violins work in a pop punk band. I can't imagine Homegrown could have.
Oh man. Harsh words. All right, let's flip it over to side 2 now.
Come
And
at me,
let's-
Homegrown.
All right, let's get into it with "Sign It Away."
Another
this
killer,
one,
another killer chorus, man.
this one sounded to me. This is the one where I felt like Johnny was really trying to do like a Fat Mike style vocal. I don't even know. It seemed like
Interesting.
snottier than usual. But I agree with you though. The chorus and the backing vocals are good in this one.
Yeah,
It's pretty catchy.
kind of a song about a warning against bottling up your bullshit and not keeping stuff in a little bit and the damage it can cause you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any thoughts on it, Ben?
I thought it was whatever.
Yeah, that's a lot of this album.
I mean, like
I do think the second half's better than the first half. I will definitely say that. But yeah,
I don't know if I agree.
no,
I mean I don't know if I agree either.
I think there are more good songs or more songs that border
Well,
on being good
actually,
on the
maybe I do
front half.
agree. I don't know. All right. Time Tells Time. I thought this one had a cool intro.
yeah,
And this almost seemed like it was meant to be the first song on side 2 because of that intro. But I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. I like it.
yeah.
But like, I think it's
Another song about
decent.
how working sucks.
Yeah, basically.
Another one where the rhythm section really gets to shine, though. That's one thing I can't deny this band, man.
Yeah. I did like, I like some of the lyrics on this one though. It says we work ourselves in a blur of lust, liquor, and nostalgia, tramp down the gravel on our streets like passive strikers, take a pint of sins to wash away what should be guilty conscience, but guilt is somewhere far away. To shrug the system is how we like it. I like that, to just shrug the system. I thought it was an interesting
Yeah.
phrase. Any thoughts, Ben?
Thought it was a song.
Wow, I mean,
I went into this so concerned that I had nothing good to say about this record, and then I listened to Ben talk about it, and
Well-
I feel so much better.
But like, I feel like if this had gotten hooked into me in high school, I'd probably like it a lot more.
I think so too. And I think a lot of the
But-
people that really love this record, that's probably when they heard it too. Is
I
very early
can't
on.
like. It's just, I don't know. Nothing really draws me in.
Yeah.
Too far.
We're all gonna have records like this that just like sit so like in the middle that you just can't.
Yeah,
you've got
and
nothing to say.
there's nothing when like I think I've said a couple times in this episode that it's like a perfectly fine record, and it's that should be noted that that's absolutely not an insult. I mean, it's perfectly competent. It's really well played. I mean, they're not bad lyrics. They're not bad songs. This isn't a shitty band. It just it's just like it's a middle of the road record.
Yeah. All right.
Mid, as the Zoomers might say.
That's right. Ben's favorite turn of phrase. It's mid.
It's mid.
It is super mid.
Okay. What about Almost Brave? I thought it had sort of an odd intro that I wasn't really sure what that was all about. It just didn't seem like it really fit. It's it's a pretty short song, so it doesn't really. How long is it? One? It's a minute and a half, so it goes by pretty quick.
Kind of works in tandem lyrically with the last song too.
Right. I have the same note. It just seems like a continuation of the last song.
Yeah, they do. It's a lot like that Good Riddance record where it seems like there's like little thematic runs throughout the record where like 2 or 3 songs will kind of link a
Yeah,
theme and they'll sort of just run with it for a chunk of the album.
right. I mean, it's almost like, they wrote Time Tells Time, and Almost Brave was like part of it at one point, and they just split it
Sure.
off or something.
Yeah, like a Brain Stew Jaded kind of thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I
Except it
thought this
didn't get a Godzilla remix like that did, but can't win them all.
a Godzilla remix. What?
Oh, you've never heard the Green Day Godzilla remix? I feel like I've talked about it on here
Talked about
before.
this on the show before.
Yeah,
They talked about Insomniac.
it's just Green Day Jaded, and they just add Godzilla roars in between the dun it. It's the best. And then people on
I do
YouTube
remember that.
People on YouTube took it and ran with it and did like when Pharrell Happy was like a huge single, they did like the Godzilla remix, and in between the snares they added a Godzilla roar. It's the best.
So we could make a Godzilla remix.
Yeah, oh yeah. I've toyed with the idea of doing many Godzilla remixes, never quite committed to it.
Oh, all right. Wow. Would you make an
I believe in
entire
you. You
an
should do
entire
it.
album of Godzilla remixes?
That's true. Just find all you have to do is find the right place to put a Godzilla roar in, some atomic breath.
Okay. 15th and T. I liked this song a lot. This is one of my
I like it a lot
favorites.
as well.
Yeah, this is a really good one.
One of the better songs.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
I mean,
wow.
it's nothing groundbreaking, but it's one of those moments where the sincerity and the genuineness of this album kind of shines through. It's a song about, losing a close friend or family member,
Yeah.
pretty easy to, I think, for a lot of us to relate to.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't it was, I guess it was non-specific enough that I was sort of thinking, I was like, it to me it was like about a, remembering like a formative summer where he was spending time with like an older friend, or like I don't know, it's like maybe a family member that like taught him some life lessons in kind of a fucked up way.
Yeah.
Sort of the vibe I was getting from it. But yeah, overall, I think this had like a really great melodic hook to it, and I like the backing vocals on this one. And I think a nice touch is it's either cymbals or maracas or a tambourine or something like that that creates like a really nice like high end to the song that you don't get
Oh,
on all of them.
interesting.
And it adds sort of adds something to it that I like. But I think more importantly, Ben actually kind of liked this one.
Yeah, it was fine.
Okay.
I'll tell you what song I didn't like.
The next one.
London Drunk.
Did you guys think that this was another pairing where like London Drunk and the Black Pint kind of went together in terms of like the lyrical content and the general vibe of the songs?
I mean, sure, but Black Pint, I read the lyrics and I was like, what the fuck is this about?
Yeah, it's very oddly worded, but at the core of it, I kind of got a fuck it, let's just have a drink vibe. Like as much as like I didn't quite know what was going on.
I
Is it
couldn't
like
figure it
the
out.
last pint before you die sort of thing?
I think
The
maybe, yeah.
Black Pint.
I mean, I even tried Googling Black Pint and nothing came up. So there's no like, I don't know if it's like I don't know what the fuck it could even mean. But
London Drunk had me really thinking that I'm definitely not the target demographic for this record.
Yeah, big time.
yeah, I had a feeling that someone was gonna hate the song, and I thought it was even gonna be me. But I actually really like the song. I don't know why.
It's fine. It's just like a party, like a goofy party song, kind of.
Yeah.
I have an anti-fun agenda.
What kind of agenda?
Anti-fun.
Oh yeah.
Strongly opposed to parties.
I will say though, like, this song wouldn't be too special at all if it wasn't for that accordion, which, I generally just don't give a shit about an accordion, but goddamn, for some reason I actually I don't know. I don't know what it is. I like the way they use it.
You're gonna be on a big Weird Al kick for the next week now.
Hey, respect.
Like suddenly, oh, dude, I love Weird Al. No shade.
Daniel Radcliffe as Weird Al. Come on.
Is that out yet? Did that come out?
I don't know. I think it's probably about to come out.
I need to see that.
I will watch
it
that.
looks, dude, it looks fantastic.
Daniel Radcliffe's a great actor.
He's super good.
I like a lot of his movies. He just does weird shit. It's like he got all that money from those stupid Harry Potter movies, and then he was like,
Yeah,
"All right,
man.
I'm gonna make some fucking weird shit." He's like
15 years playing Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Let's just unleash and do real bizarre shit.
Yeah. It's like Elijah Wood.
Take my dick out on Broadway and all kinds of stuff. Not the street, but like, you know, in plays.
What wasn't one of his first things
Daniel Radcliffe's not canceled.
After Harry Potter, like one of the first things he did was like a stage play about fucking a horse, right?
Yeah, that was the one where he was just hanging dong.
Right? Yeah. Respect, man.
For real. Like,
he's made some really crazy ass movies. He made some really
Harry
good
Potter's
ones.
packing, man. Quite a wand.
What? Okay. One last thing about London Drunk. I liked the lyrics on this one. It's very much a record or a song that's like telling a story. It's painting a picture. But I did really like the part where he says, "By half a mile or half a minute, I was a sunken, bloated slag. I puked up on the floorboards, my jacket and pant leg." Great details. Love it.
Ridiculous.
I mean, it is just funny. He's just like talking about going to London and people taking him around, and he's getting fucking hammered the whole time. Black Pint, I mean, I really liked the intro to the song, that guitar tone, which is very Swingin' Utters.
For sure.
And I feel like that is sort like, it reminds me so much of the style that Jack Dalrymple plays. Like you'll just hear it in like Dead to Me and One Man Army. It's just like he's got it's almost like it's like, oh god, did he just like grow up going to Swingin' Utters shows and then it's like, oh yeah, that's my style.
And like funny enough, I think he like plays with the band later on down the line too.
Yeah. But yeah, just that intro on that song really reminded me of that. But I didn't really. The rest of the song was just whatever.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of Bigot's Barrel?
It is good. Pretty straightforward to the point. No real mincing of words.
Yeah. This one straight up felt like it was pulling from Bad Religion's Fuck Armageddon.
Oh, I could see that.
It's just the cadence of the vocals was just like, oh, okay, you very much are just kind of doing that type of thing. So, when you're pulling from that, it's hard to fuck it up.
Right, yeah, as long as you're kind of sticking to the formula.
Only one note on the lyrics. I just didn't understand what he meant by "the bigot's barrel's just another white male melee."
I mean,
how are you like? I just couldn't quite figure out what the hell that even means.
I would assume that it's based on the themes of this album. The barrel likely refers to like a barrel of alcohol, and he's basically just saying like racist white people drinking alcohol leads to a melee.
Yeah, I guess like that makes sense to me. I definitely didn't really know how to take it.
Neither did I. But yeah,
and that would be my best guess, just based on everything in this record's about alcohol.
Yeah,
and white dude melee bigots.
Yeah, dumb white guys get some liquid courage in them. They're more likely to shoot their mouths off. That's for certain.
Climb a telephone pole, flip a car. Do not.
Hey man, sometimes your sports team wins.
Oh god. And finally, A Step to Go.
It was fine. I feel very Ben in this response, but it was a closer. It was a song. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I had the exact same thing. I said it was decent, but there wasn't really anything too notable about it.
No, for a closer, it wasn't especially memorable. I didn't feel like there was. I thought there was songs that were way more. Would have stuck a lot more. I think The Landing as a closer than this song.
Yeah, I agree.
I turned it off halfway a bunch of times that I've listened to it. Like, it's the last song. Do I really need to stay for the whole thing?
Right.
Kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
my
This
attitude
is like
gets
leaving. It's
Yeah.
like leaving before the credits are over.
Right. He's got one
or
foot out
leaving
the
before
door.
the band plays its
Yeah.
last song. And then you
Right.
miss the encore too, but who fucking cares? Because you got
Yeah,
one
but
load.
the traffic and I got to work in the morning,
Yep.
and we should go.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. It's not a great closer at all. It's just fine. It's not really a whole lot to say about it.
Yeah.
But on the whole, I liked this record a lot more than I thought I would. And I'm pretty sure I liked it more than both of you. But
Yeah, I went in expecting to probably not like it just based on like singles I had heard were fine, but they weren't my thing. I just assumed it wasn't going to be for me, and it wasn't, but it was definitely better than I thought going in,
Yeah.
what I was going to get going in.
yeah. But I will say that like by no means is this like a real standout record for me. It's just kind of like I found some things to like about it.
Sure.
And
You wouldn't be mad if it came on at a party. Like I wouldn't go like, "What the fuck are you playing?" I'd be like, it's ineffectual, it's background music. It's perfectly fine.
fair enough. Ben totally panned it.
Yeah. It's I mean, I have no interest in listening to it again
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, I don't
Fair.
know that I'll go back to it.
There's a couple songs that I'll go back to, but on the whole, probably not. Yeah, it definitely could have benefited from being edited. I mean, you could have lost at least 4 of these songs, at least.
Yeah, I was just gonna say 11, 12 track album. Probably it'd be 22 minutes or whatever. It'd be perfect for these guys.
It'd be much better.
2-minute songs. I mean,
Yeah. All right, guys. Speaking of 2-minute songs, let's talk about our rival records. And first up, we have the U.S. Bombs, Garibaldi Guard. It's
who wants to start?
released on June 4th, 1996 by Slope Records, which I don't know what the fuck Slope Records is.
No, I've never heard of them.
How great is the intro?
The intro's really interesting. It's a little long, but it's interesting.
It's very long. I kept expecting it to cut, and I would
Like,
be like, "Oh, it's still going."
Still going. It's like 2 minutes long.
But no, it's very good.
Yeah.
Even into the song, directly after it is really, really great.
So the intro has, I assume, a homeless man being interviewed, right?
Is that what that is?
I
That's
figured
what
it
it
was either
sounded
that
like.
or either that or Dwayne Peters. I mean,
Well, because he's talking about. I could have sworn he says it explicitly, something about being homeless, but like he's talking about how,
again,
like, people, even when people are trying to help you out, like
yeah, they
make
still
you
want to
feel
keep you down.
the
Right.
whole thing, and it was very interesting. Fuck them indeed,
Yeah.
No, agreed.
Yeah. It's a really interesting intro. Some really great sound bites in there.
So yeah, I think that this band does the late '70s punk homage thing a lot better than Swing and Utters do. Although I don't know if you guys even agree that that's how Swing and Utters sound, but
No, I think that's definitely the
it's-
vein that I would classify them in. Sure,
It's part of it. It's like an element of it. Yeah.
And there's no corncob ass Celtic folk songs on this shit, so that's also a plus.
I will say it for me. It does suffer from the same thing that the Swing and Utters record did, in that it runs together very quickly for me.
Oh my god, I think this runs together way more than the Swing and Utters record.
I think it starts off really, really strong. At first, I was like, yeah, because I haven't listened to the U.S. Bombs in legitimately probably 14 or 15 years.
Yeah, I mean,
and in this record in particular, even longer than that. So I didn't really know what to expect going back into it. And at first, I'm like, yeah, it's pretty great. Like I do remember really having a good time with the Bombs. And then by like the 4th or 5th song, I was like, this is all the same.
Yeah.
It kind of picks up again towards the end, though.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a dip, man. But I mean, it's hard to deny
Yeah.
they're an institution band. I mean, they were around forever. Dwayne Peters is like a lifer.
How long were they around though? This is only their second
Well, I
record.
mean, yeah, that dude's been around for God knows
Oh,
how
well,
long. He's
yeah.
like a dinosaur.
Right. I mean, he was like a fucking pro skateboarder in the 70s and
Oh yeah,
probably the 80s too, I would imagine. Yeah,
a
I mean,
friend of mine said he saw them live, and he said it was like he's like, I don't know if it was a 10 out of 10 show or a 2 out of 10. He goes, because Dwayne Peters spent 80% of the set just skateboarding on the stage and like not
Good.
singing, like just fucking around.
That sounds I mean, that sounds better than watching this band to me.
Yeah, for the most part.
Um Ben, did you have any familiarity with US Bombs?
I've definitely listened to this record before.
Have
I
you?
could have sworn I'd listened to it with you, but you swore up and down that you've never
Never
listened
heard
to
it.
it before.
I honestly, truly never heard this record. I think that I got a free copy of one of their later records that I maybe listened to once or twice and never again. Was never into it.
Yeah, they're one of those one record bands for me. Like, there's a lot of bands where like I just need one album out of them, and
Sure.
like they may have 12
Yeah.
in their discography.
Yeah. Oh, I could totally see that. This is
It's not this one, but they've got stuff I dig.
And how would you describe it? Because all I would say is this just sounds like they're just trying to be the Sex Pistols, but with more of like a West Coast punk sound added in.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of Ramones in there
A
sometimes,
little
like
bit.
a little Ramones worship, but yeah, I mean, I think you pretty much nailed it. It's like a California take on
Mm-hmm.
UK aggression, I think, and like attitude, snottiness.
Yeah. I have a note here. His vocals sort of remind me of like a drunk guy in a bar singing along to the songs in the jukebox.
Oh yeah, and then
Yeah, the best
not in
dude
like
at
a
the bar.
charming way either. It's also like the guy at the end of the bar that might potentially pull a knife out if he has one too many.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
and it's the guy at the bar you don't fully trust, but he's usually a good time.
Um, so you guys didn't have any songs you liked
There's a
particularly
few
much?
I
No, I had a
liked.
couple.
I liked Don't Want to Go a lot. I thought All the Bodies was really good, and
Mhm.
Retreads was my other one that I got a kick out of.
Yep. I'm with you on all the bodies and retreads. Those are my standouts. I liked both of those songs.
I agree on all the bodies. Again, probably one of the best. I
Yeah.
like Don't Want to Go. I also like Monsters and No Love quite a bit.
That was a pretty cool one.
Yeah.
I think that made my short list, but I tried to keep it to like 2 or 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a note here that I liked No Love. Yeah, that's I wrote that the most notable thing about it is when he's like going wah wah in that very Johnny Rotten style of delivery, like just like
Yeah.
wailing.
A lot of over top exaggeration in the
Yeah.
vocals too.
Yeah.
Let a really stretching words out. It's like, dude, just enough.
I got really tired of the gang vocals. And
Yeah, it's
I
a
was
lot.
I mean, at first in all the bodies it was like, yeah, all right, this is cool. And then they just kept doing it. It's like in
Every song is dun 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 dun, gang vocals. Dun dun dun.
It just lost
It's a
me.
lot.
It all ran together because of it for the most part. But my favorite part of all the bodies is definitely when he says Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Oh god, why didn't they get him for an extra in one of those movies? Get Dwayne Peters interviewed on the news in his presumably ridiculous outfit.
Oh god. I mean, I know almost nothing about the guy, but just listening to him I'm interested.
Yeah, there's some stories out there for sure. He's an odd duck.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on this album?
Not particularly, no.
Cool. All right. Let's talk about our last Rabble record, and that is Social Distortion's White light, white heat, white trash.
I enjoy the name of the album.
Yeah, it is a very good title.
It's a very good title.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you guys think of Social Distortion on the whole?
I find them dreadfully boring.
On the whole, I don't really like Social Distortion. Their records, other than this one, I don't care for too much. I think they're very corny. As best I understand, Mike Ness kind of sucks, and their shows are full of full-grown adults cosplaying as greasers.
Yeah, a lot of
What
cigarette
more do you
packs
gotta
in the
say?
sleeve. A lot of stuff with flaming dice on it, and like cigarette packs rolled up in the sleeves, and a lot
That
of
said,
big Danny Zuko vibes.
That said, this record is really good in my opinion. I think there's 4 like fucking stellar songs on this. It is way too melodramatic. I will admit,
Yes.
way too melodramatic. But that's showbiz. Mike Ness knows showbiz.
It sounds like Bad Religion with a brain injury.
I had a very well. I mean, I didn't say that, but I did say that it reminds me a lot of Bad Religion, and
Reminds me of Stranger Than Fiction in particular.
Yeah, 90s Bad Religion. I could hear.
That's what I was starting to wonder as I was listening to it. I was like, oh, this sounds like all of the slow songs from the Bad Religion records in the 90s. And I was wondering, it's like these two bands, they came up at the same time. And I guess I was just kind of wondering, like, if maybe they're just like, I mean, they definitely like know each other for sure, but are they like pulling from each other in terms of like influence in some ways?
Right, yeah, commonalities in terms of like stuff that's influenced them. I could see that.
Yeah, I'm just getting a really strong like Bad Religion vibe from a lot of the songs here. And I'll echo what Ben said. It's a really well-crafted album, like musically.
Yeah. Yeah, it's well written. I mean, they're not bad again, same as pretty much everything we've talked about today. They're not bad songs. It's not a bad band.
Yeah.
Pretty competently put together stuff.
But I think what I ended up having a problem with this album was the music is just there's just nothing surprising about anything that happens in any of these songs. There's nothing really that terribly interesting. It sticks to a lot of the standard rock structures of songs, like and it also, because of that, I just think some of these songs, like, or a lot of them, just could have been shorter. You could have cut a verse off, and it would have made the album move a little bit more, quickly.
There's a lot of like instrumental breaks in the songs too that you could have easily trimmed down a lot.
Yeah, and I don't mind so much that. I just mind hearing the chorus over and over and over again. It's like in most situations, I only need to hear the chorus twice, and I know that that's not the standard. The standard is more like 3. But yeah, I was just found myself thinking like, oh man, is this over yet?
Over yet? Yeah.
Yeah. But really, like, definitely not bad. So Ben, you said you liked 4 songs, like really liked 4 songs. What were your standouts?
The whole thing's pretty good, but the 4 that I thought were really standout are Dear Lover, I Was Wrong, Through These Eyes, and Down in the World Again. I don't know. Maybe we wind up liking different songs.
I also made a list, but it's not the songs I liked. I just wrote a list of things I would rather do than listen to this album.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, let's hear
So
it.
I would rather read a book without pictures, watch a Wes Anderson movie, eat a bug, do laundry. I would rather learn to sew. I would rather go do the dishes. I'd rather work on myself. I would rather listen to an entire episode of the Joe Rogan podcast or go see Face to Face.
I agree with like 3 of those things.
That's the most damning. You want to go? You would rather see Face to Face than listen to the record?
1,000. I would watch Face to Face play Disconnected 17 times in a row before I would go to see Social Distortion.
I would never go to see.
I would never go
stumble their way through a eyeliner filled set of melodrama.
The funniest thing I ever heard about Social Distortion playing live was like, a long time ago now. But Mike Ness, like, he fined one of his bandmates for getting too close to him on stage.
Really?
Like he got too close
That's
to him.
cool.
He's like, "No, I've got a bubble." Like it's like you can't be, any more than like 8 or 10 feet away from me.
Good Lord.
How's the guy ever going to learn to not enter his bubble if he's not going to get fined?
I guess that is a good point. You don't learn unless you're punished. I bet Mike Ness talks in third person.
Some
You
backwards
got too
thinking.
close. You got too close to Mike Ness on stage. Mike Ness doesn't like that.
He's going to come and beat us all up.
I could see that. Yeah.
I'd like to see him try.
Yeah.
Actually, he probably could. Still make fun of his eyeliner though.
Just mess up his hair. He'll go home and cry.
Yeah.
Um.
Go kick his hot rod.
So the songs that I really liked were "Don't Drag Me Down" and "I Was Wrong."
Don't Drag Me Down. One,
yeah. I think I have "I Was Wrong." What I think was probably no, maybe it's I don't know. It's kind of maybe it is just between the two of them. Definitely the best songs on the record.
Yeah, I Was Wrong. Don't drag stand out for sure.
"Don't Drag Me Down" is like just that's easily one of my favorite songs by this band on a very short list. But I definitely remember this song, and I haven't listened. Honestly, I haven't listened to this record in a very long time. Like,
yeah,
definitely like early college. I tried this one out, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I was really disappointed going back to When the Angels Sing, because for some reason I remembered really liking that song. I went back to it, and I was like, I don't even know why I liked this. It's just boring.
You just couldn't find any ghosts of what you were into about it?
No, not at all. But I definitely remembered thinking, it was like, oh, that's a jam. And then I went back to it, and I was like, why did I like
happened?
this? Yeah, what happened?
Oh my goodness. I forgot there was like another cover on here too. They do that Rolling Stones cover toward the end. I think it's on this one, isn't it? Is it Under My Thumb on here?
Oh, I didn't have that as a Rolling Stones. I didn't know that was the cover.
Yeah, it's a cover of the Rolling Stones track.
I think I did not until maybe just now make the connection that it was the cover of the Rolling Stones song.
Yeah, it's pretty true to the original. They just sped it up a pinch.
But it also just fits as a social distortion song.
They definitely made it like into their song for sure.
Yeah. It's funny too, because like I had Down Here with the Rest of Us, my note on that was like, oh, this seems like a better choice for the closing track, and maybe that was what it was intended to be, but
yeah,
they have that tagged on the end of it. Yeah, it's just this one, a lot of it kind of blends together again.
Yeah,
a bunch of records.
That's sort of the name of the game with their career too. It's like every album is just a slight tweak on the Social Distortion formula.
Yeah, it's all right. It's a decent record. Any more thoughts on it before we end it?
I'm good. The coffin.
Nail it shut.
All right, well, that's gonna do it for us today. If you have any questions, comments, or most importantly, corrections on anything we might have gotten wrong, please email us at ontherecord@gmail.com so we can set the record straight in a future episode. And
hell yeah,
I'm telling you guys, you gotta talk to us. You gotta really like hold our feet to the fire. We're saying a lot of shit, and
I'm trying to talk shit. I'm trying to incite somebody here.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking shit about a band you really like Social Distortion, I mean, come at me, because
call Mike Ness, tell him to come to our house. We'll fight him.
If you like the show, like us on Spotify, Apple, anywhere where you can get a podcast. Go on YouTube, check us out, and look at our stupid faces.
Don't forget to throw us a review.
Yeah, tell us dirty stories in the YouTube comments.
Oh yeah.
I mean, sure, why not?
Sure. Hey, if you know any obscure, terrible bands that we could use for Maximum Obscurity, send me a list.
Yeah, so tell us about your terrible band.
Oh yeah, even better. Oh, I love that. Yeah. It's like, did you have a really stupid band with a really terrible
Oh
name?
yeah, if you've ever had
Oh,
a
man.
awful demo you've recorded, submit it.
Oh,
We'll
God.
we'll do a bonus show where we'll review demos.
Absolutely. I would like nothing better.
Bazinga.
All right, y'all. We'll be back next week to talk about Screeching Weasels Bark Like a Dog. Thanks for listening.
Good night.